Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here. Would you all stand with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, that brings us to item number 3 on the agenda, which is public comments and audience to visitors. This is the opportunity for anyone that's in the audience, subject to a couple of ordinances that are listed on the agenda there that regulate this part of the meeting, to come speak to the council. So would anybody like to come speak to the council tonight? Okay, hearing none. I know you want to talk about the zoning issue, so we'll get to that here in a minute. Move on to item number 4, the consent agenda, of which there's items A, B, and C. Anybody on the council want any of these items removed from the consent agenda and voted upon with a separate vote? Anybody in our audience want any of these items, A, B, or C, or sub-items, removed from the consent agenda and made with a separate vote? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented, please.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda A, B, and C as listed.
I'll second that.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under new business, item 5A, we have a zoning board denial of a variance at 305 East Boulevard. You introduced yourself to me as Danny. I'm sorry, I didn't ask your last name. Okay. And are you the homeowner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's your first name?
Kiera.
Kiera. Okay. So here's the way this works. The zoning board has made their recommendation to the council, which was unanimous, that they deny your variance. We've got a pretty, including the letters that you wrote, we've got a pretty comprehensive view of that, I think, in the packet. You're welcome to come up. I would ask you to come to the microphone so that you can make your plea, so to speak. But I went by your house today to look at this myself. And I've printed some maps off, and I have some suggestions on how I think this might be resolved, or potential resolution. But Danny, you wanted to speak to the council, so now's your opportunity to do so. Set mic on. Hang on just a second. We got to get that microphone turned on. Okay.
I just wanted you guys to understand kind of how putting the fence at the private permit happened. I spoke to a gentleman up there when I was getting a permit, and we was just talking. He told me he didn't have any say. Well, you got a permit or you didn't, but speaking with him, he said that the only thing he'd heard of there being any issues on is if it was in the floodplain. We had our paper saying it wasn't in the floodplain, and the gentleman was on vacation, doing a permit, so I didn't think there was going to be an issue with the fence. I didn't know about the ordinance with the front yard, so that was completely my fault, and that aspect of it, but I wasn't trying to bypass the permit part of it. We're just trying to get this in for her safety, when she takes her dog out at night and things like that. Perfect example of it is she had somebody break in her car last night and take money out of the wallet. So I'm trying to make it safe for her to take the dog out. That's all I'm trying to do. It's the only spot in the yard that can possibly be put. There is no yard anywhere else. It's not very big either, as you saw. So, inevitably, it's up to you guys' decision, but that's just, I'm hoping that she can have this for her safety.
Well, so one of the things in your letter stated that we just passed this ordinance. I wouldn't sit down too quick because I want to show you some pictures. That's incorrect. This ordinance has been in place since 2008 specifically, and I can read that part of it. But we have tried to enforce this consistently, and there's good reason for it. There's line of sight issues from intersections, which I understood from your letter. What you said is that, which you're correct, where the stop sign's at, there is a line of sight issue. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Practically speaking, people have to pull up past the stop sign anyway to get out, but the standard is from the stop sign. That's just the way the stop sign has to be so far back from the intersection, and we've had other issues, not even just with fences, but with big overgrown bushes and things at intersections that have caused problems, and we've had wrecks as a result of it. So there is a public safety concern with that. The other item that's specifically stated in the ordinance is for the reason that we do not allow front yards to be fenced in is because of emergency services being able to access the house. That's, a lot of people disagree with that. I think that's a very real consideration. Although I'm sure a great big fire truck could knock that fence down in no time flat. But our goal is not to do any more damage to personal property, obviously, than is absolutely necessary in a circumstance like that. So, I don't know if any of you guys drove by and saw this, but I feel for you, just like the zoning board reported in their report to us. They're sympathetic to your concerns, but there's very good reasons why this ordinance exists, and I don't personally think I can support overruling their recommendation. That being said, can I show you some overhead pictures that I looked at today? Would you like to look at them too, so I can get your input on this? I'm sorry, guys, I should have copied this for you guys, but come on up, just like the Price is Right. I'll try to raise this so everybody can hear what we're talking about.
One straight down from her house, there's a fence put in the exact same spot.
Well, I noticed it was put in 21, and what street is that? Because I did notice a couple of them, the ones...
It's the only one on that street that looks exactly like...
Is it on Harper Street or on Boulevard?
No, it's on Boulevard.
It's the old Oscar Shafley house.
Well, from my view on that one, it's pretty similar construction, I think.
Yeah, it's the same exact fence. That's where she got the idea.
Okay, well, I can't answer. I don't know. I don't know how that came to be.
He got approved. I got the variance approval for that, for the fencing part of it in 21.
But that fence does not encompass the whole front yard. It still looks like it comes along the side of the house to me, unless I looked at it wrong.
The front yard and the...
Can I see that variance?
I don't know if I have a picture of it.
Did you say you had the actual variance, though?
Yes. The variance on here was only for the fencing type, which if that was in 2008 with the front yard, I don't understand why it didn't have to be a variance for that.
So you know the home that we're in question?
Yeah, it's a white house, sits on the corner of Logan and Boulevard. And her fence construction, looks-wise, is exactly the same as the house in...
So the other house on Logan and Boulevard, does it encompass the whole front yard?
No, the house sits to the east
503.
of the lot, and it's the west part of the lot. The fence itself runs down Logan, turns east and goes toward the house, and then in front of the house it turns back south and kind of dies into the house. So the front of the house per se is not covered by a fence, but the side yard is, and that side yard fence faces Boulevard, but it sits pretty
Does it
well.
extend beyond the front of the house, even in the side yard?
I don't think so. No.
That was what
It comes out towards Boulevard and past the house.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
How far past the house? All the way to the property line?
Side of it, it's pretty much all the way to that sidewalk. I think.
To the front of the yard?
Mm,
Facing
In
Boulevard?
front.
No, there's quite a distance between the sidewalk and the front.
I couldn't remember
Yeah.
exactly how much.
There's quite a bit of distance. I would guess 40 to 50 feet.
Yeah, I
Just
think
as a
that's,
guess.
I have a picture of it.
It's hard to see because of the trees. Logan and Boulevard. There in that corner. See where the fence
so we know the measurements, make sure that's
In, right
the
there,
fence
corner.
is 23 foot.
So it runs down Logan.
Which
turns
fencing?
and goes
Yours?
this way and dies in.
I understand, but it's right up to the property
This is the
line.
front of the house.
Parallel to
I was
both.
just getting off the
Yes.
road.
Yeah.
Facing,
It's
Logan.
28
No.
foot worth of
Front of the
fence.
house faces Boulevard.
That
Okay.
is, and that's from the front door.
Fenced in there.
Although the lane of the house.
It's in the front.
I guess I'd have to go back and look at more carefully at that one on Logan, but I don't think that's the same situation.
It looks exactly.
The
it
fence
looks
type
exactly-
may be, but I don't think it goes and encompasses the entire house
Show that
like
to Mike.
what you're planning here. That's to me the biggest
He
problem.
just had a big side yard, is what it is.
I understand.
That's the house there. The fence parallels Boulevard. It turns and comes back into the house.
But here's the front of the
Front of
house.
the house.
Right.
So it's parallel to the front of the house, which is consistent with the ordinance.
Yeah, and majority of the fence is on the side yard, not in the, here's the sidewalk coming up to the
Right,
front porch.
but it's not like this, all
Right.
in front of the house.
Right.
All right, well,
It
this,
didn't go past the house.
you have a bigger picture?
Is this the house you're talking
No, it's the next one to the east, the other way. Right here.
I just got the
Little further.
Google map image pulled.
Yeah.
about? I mean, if there was any other spot to put it,
I got an idea for
Well,
you.
that spot that you have, it's only about 5 foot of room.
There it is, right there.
I'm not done.
Yeah, that's what
It
you're
doesn't
like.
extend past the
Right.
You're
It doesn't
right,
go
but I'm not
past.
done. That's what I was first looking at, was that it would make a long run, but particularly right here, it's very, very,
Here's the front of the house.
yeah, that's what I
And the
remember.
fence comes out and goes to the side.
Right. So that was my first iteration. My second idea, irrespective of the type of fence, which is another issue that would have to be,
The people in the variance, that the zoning said the fencing product is not, it is a non-issue.
Yeah, they
The
said
front
that really
yard.
wasn't the problem.
well, that would be their
Yeah,
decision
they
to
told
review that
us,
again.
because I said if I changed the fencing type, it doesn't matter, you know, because it was two different issues, they're like, actually, the fencing is not a problem in the past, it's where it's
So
at.
this is north, just like we're oriented now. Here's, that little is the exact footprint of your carport. Why couldn't the carport be moved to the east, closer to the street? And that would give you this entire area back here, plus some of this if you wanted to fence in.
You know, this area is all asphalt.
Okay,
You know, it's underneath the carport.
I understand.
It goes, I mean, I
It's not
guess,
really a yard. You
in
know,
like this area you're talking about here, like her car is pulled up, you know, almost in front of it. I mean, it would be, it could be done, it would be, make it very odd, because
well, so is having,
It's on-
so
it's
is
on
encompassing
this.
your front yard with a fence. And
it's on, well, that's not odd, but.
well, it
I
is.
said the
When-
officer that I spoke with today was, he was asking me about getting a fence put up because of the troubles I've been having at my house. And I said, well, I can't because the city of Marion doesn't allow me to fence my front yard. But even the officer was like, why? And that was literally this morning.
Which we, I mean, we
understand.
we understand
It's been the
ordinance, you
rule
got
for a
passed,
long
and that's
time.
what it is. I mean,
So-
that's, I mean, but here, she would still have to come out and take him to the fence.
You don't have a back door?
Yeah, well,
Outside work, but then
yeah,
I
see,
have
this
to
is
do
all
all
like
of
canopy
these.
part of that, it's got steps down to here, so she'd still have to come out and take him and put him in there. Where here, she would let him out, that was the only reason why we put it there.
Okay,
I
well,
mean, if that's, I mean, we could look, I could look at it better, I really didn't look at that part of it because of the carport there and having to move that and it then be concrete, you know, or asphalt, so.
well, I understand, I'm not saying it's ideal, I'm just saying,
And like, yeah, I'd have to measure exactly there because there's, like, I'm not gonna say numbers, I don't know exactly, but it's inside 10 foot here.
well, and it wouldn't have to be, you wouldn't have to even do that, you could just do this square.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
On the back. What kind of dog do you have? Well, I'm no animal expert, but I would think that'd be plenty of area for a boxer? Just one?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's caused her to have, my thing with her, had to go out there. I didn't want her to have to go outside at night, like 2 o'clock in the morning. She been out the other day and had on a leash, and there was a guy walking on this side of the road, stopped underneath the lamppost and stood there, stared at her the whole time she was out there with the dog. So honestly, it is a safety thing for me with the dog. But it is, I also understand that it was an ordinance, and I should have looking into that, but I just made a mistake of looking at other houses and saying, that's the same way that.
Well, I won't disagree with you that that fence is similar on the one that you're quoting there on Logan, but I don't think it's the same situation. And I drove by it today too, and it's as the ordinance reads, you can go from the front of the house sideways, and that's fine. That's basically considered your backyard, but anything in front of the front line of the house.
Well, see, that ordinance has actually changed too, though.
No.
You can't, if you're on a corner lot, now you can't
Do the front or the side?
do the front or the side. Either one. So how would that work if we put in?
Because this isn't your side.
Yes.
This is your side. This is considered the side boundary. This,
Yeah, from the point of the house, it sticks out there.
this line.
Right.
So if what you're saying is correct, and I assume it is, if that's what it says is you can't go to this over here, I would agree, but that's not what I'm proposing. I'm just talking about this area here, which to me looks ideal, both in size and certainly I think would comply with the ordinance. Wouldn't be any more expensive to put here than here. But that's just my idea. I'm not a.
No, the expense, that other than moving the
Well, I bet.
carport is the only difference in expense.
Do you know how that carport is secured to that pavement? Is it just bolts down into it?
I
Like they
think
know?
so. I have the asphalt poured up to it, so I don't know if they put anything into the asphalt as well. So I don't know for sure, because it was there when she bought the house, so
Okay.
I can't tell you for sure.
Well, usually they're not that involved to move. Usually they aren't that involved to move unless they're anchored deep, deep, deep with footings or something like that. They're
Right.
usually just like a roofing bolt type
Yeah,
thing.
I know there's, the big lag bolts that go down in the ground and whatever.
Does that asphalt run all the way east and west on the backside of your house?
Basically, there's probably like maybe 6 foot from the end of like the asphalt.
Yeah, where that one part sticks out there,
Right.
we actually moved the fence to, just like, it's only like 4 foot.
Okay.
Sorry, that's right there. That's like, yeah, as you can see, basically like very little room for,
Underneath is asphalt though, right?
yes, underneath that's all asphalt, yes, sir.
And then this is asphalt from here out to the street.
Yes, sir. So it's like, it goes, actually, like the asphalt goes past like that little corner of the house. But, yeah, there's probably only like 6 foot of room.
You know, what I had to look at is the angle of the driveway, whether or not the carport would sit, if it would go all the way down to it, or if it would be on the side, covered in the sidewalk at that time.
But you couldn't put it over the sidewalk, I
Right.
will tell you that. But,
Just with the length of it and the angle of the driveway, I had to check, to see if it would sit there either on that angle, or if it'd be teeter-tottering halfway, or, pressed over the top, or whatever. That's just something I need to look at.
Is this area back here big enough?
Technically, they said I wouldn't be allowed to do that because it's my side yard. It's on a roof.
Because it's on a corner?
You can't do any of the yard that
Well, you
faces
can go
on
to
the
the
roof.
plane of the house,
Well, you-
so wherever the house
Okay,
goes to.
you're
like-
talking about this one, how
Yeah.
much area you think that is outside the front door, the grass area? So,
Yeah.
probably like 10 foot, but.
Yeah, 10, maybe 10 by 10 area. I mean, it looks a lot bigger on this than what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Like where the carport is, the line there that shows it. Looks like there's quite a bit of room there, but it's about 3 feet maybe. Yeah, so. But if you move the carport, it is a small, decent sized area,
So the ordinance says if they're on a corner,
Well, can you pull up the current one?
I don't
I
necessarily.
had pulled up ordinance 2191, which was in response to what your letter said, that we just changed this, because I was trying to find out how long.
so. It was July of 22.
That's when we tweaked it.
Right,
But-
that's where the second road was at.
The what?
If it's on a corner lot, that's where
Okay.
the second road was
But
at.
I was trying to go back and say, how long have we limited it to basically to the backyard? And
Right,
that's at
I was
least.
trying to find that myself online, but I couldn't find it.
Well, you wouldn't, because it
You
just-
said 2008 is when
Right.
that actually came in.
April of 2008, that passed, that's what this is, but
Yes, I realize they do that on the side yard when you're on a corner.
This should be in your packet.
Front yard, problem. It's on this corner.
I know you guys got a lot.
Expenses coming right
it's okay. I know this is important to you, but, and we're not trying to be,
Not in room here.
I'm just trying to give
Which
alternatives here.
So 11-12-7 is that section.
There's gonna be access up the back, so you could come up here, and come over to there, from the back. I can't see the back. You go out the back door, so the front door.
That also, and again, like what you're talking about there, that would reduce the parking on the property where cars would have to be on the road as well too. So if you had somebody over or whatever, they'd have to park on Harbor and not be able to park in the driveway. Just something to think.
I understand, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to provide you some alternatives here, rather than just a flat. I mean, I will tell you, my vote will, if that's what we do, is just to make a straight vote here, my vote will be no, because it's exactly the situation we're trying to avoid with the ordinance. And I understand in your letter, you made some very good points about variances and when there's no other alternatives, but there are other alternatives. You may not want to do them, but I believe there's a viable alternative that does provide you room for the dog in the back. May not be a deal for you, I understand that, but I guess my overarching argument, just because you want something or you think it's ideal isn't a great reason for us to make a quote-unquote variance, because
Well,
that
I
does.
never said it was ideal. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal anyway.
I understand.
But also, she is a single woman paying her own bills, and she'd have to remove that asphalt, and put grass in there, because you're not
Take
going
the
to
dog out to use bathroom.
right, you're not going to use the bathroom on an asphalt pad. I mean, you know, if it's going to be a yard, turn it into a yard. So, you know, the cost of that and moving our worship. So, the area we're trying to fence is 28 foot from the doorway, so that was actually split. It's only about 20 foot wide, but it's 48 foot this way. It's not a huge area yet started.
How wide is your gate in your front that you're going to put in?
I don't know where this, these trees kind of half one, half the other. Is it viable? Is there a door in the back? Is a fence down there and on the back?
No, there's front door here, and the other door goes out.
It's on this side? So there's no back, there's no door?
No,
on the back
there's no door coming out this way at all. That's why it's originally was
Oh, no.
Oh, looking, okay. Oh, so the door's over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on the street. I can't see.
Right.
So my
It's only, her property line is only about 4 foot
Yeah,
Off of Harbor.
from the
Yeah.
house. 4 or 5 foot.
Yeah.
It's very tight.
Because that's probably the door you predominantly use as your entrance and exit. Because you get out of the car and go right up that side door.
You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I've had paramedics, police, or anything like that come to my house,
on the road.
Yeah.
To that side.
Put your mailbox on the front of the house.
Material?
So when they deliver mail, they deliver to the
That
front.
shows the distance on the road.
They park on,
Yeah,
yeah, and then walk down.
I got you.
I think this is more of where you have to pull out to be able to see, but the stop sign's actually back of this sidewalk, is it not?
I mean, I had a couple
Right.
other police reports, I had
Right.
kids
But
in
if
my
you
front
was to
yard,
stop
and they
at
would
stop
come and
sign,
sit on my
and
porch
pull
up
out,
front, and, I have dogs, I don't want to get to it or anything silly like that, so.
But you
I
said
called the
that.
police
I agree. I agree.
A couple times,
Uh,
right after I moved in from the boys, and they would come and they would.
The stop sign is
right
actually,
there,
yeah,
and then walk up
almost the same.
my sidewalk.
It's
That is what
not
I'm saying,
even
I
a
don't know,
sidewalk
I just know my
probably, so
personal
it's
experience.
a little bit in front of the fence, but not.
I've
very
only
much.
ever had
And that's, I
those
just,
people come to my side.
I didn't know, I told my wife, I said, we've been
Is
on-
your
talking
idea
about
to-
you gotta stop at the stop sign
was it
itself, or where you
to
actually have
fence
to
the
stop,
front yard?
you know, on whether or not.
You let the dog out, he does his business without
I
having.
think the issue is you
without
can't
you
put a
having to
stop
be there,
sign
Basically,
past where the sidewalk is at, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that that's why it's sitting
If
that
he
far
wants to
back, and
play,
you've got an
he can play
unusually
whatever.
large right-of-way there. That's just not that normal. Usually you've got 2 or 3 feet on the other side of a sidewalk, you've got several more than that, so that's exacerbating this.
That's, okay, so you can't put it past that. Right.
It's the, that's my understanding anyway. I don't know.
No, that makes sense, actually.
In case somebody happened to be walking, I guess you wouldn't want to block them.
Yeah. And good, bad, or indifferent, that's where that standard of line of sight comes from, is from the stop sign. So it kind of builds on itself, that one problem is causing another problem. But,
When was the fence
nobody
originally
showed
put
up
in?
at the zoning
When
board
was the
meeting, did
fence
they?
installed?
When you,
Day after Thanksgiving.
at the
My
variance,
son-
there's a variance, or for it, one way or the other.
That was
Nobody
before,
showed
though,
up.
they had told you that it wouldn't be approved, correct?
Well, when I went on that Monday, and the gentleman does the approvals was on vacation the whole week. And the guy that I paid my money to in that, he said, he said, a lot of people put the fences in and get the permits afterwards. He said, it's not unusual. And that's what he said, the only time I've ever heard one get not approved is if it's in floodplain, and that's generally approved with, you may have to adjust like the height of the fence because of water or whatever. But he said, that's the only reason I've ever heard of one getting, turned down. And I'm like, okay, so, so I could start on it if I wanted to, he said, that's not an odd thing. He said, I can't tell you that it'll be approved, but I can't,
But it was installed and finished, and then it was not approved.
yeah, so I put it in during while he was on vacation. That Monday, he come back and put a, permit wasn't, passed or whatever, and so I haven't done anything. It's been sitting like that since then. I haven't touched it since I, got the note saying that it wasn't approved, so. We've been just going through the process.
okay, well,
Thank you for hearing us out.
Yeah.
well, I've said how I'm going to vote, so what do you guys think? Any discussion on this?
Well, I've said all along with the zoning board, if we override our zoning board, we shouldn't have a zoning board. That's my thing. I don't see a need for it.
In principle, it's, the ordinance is the ordinance. I mean, regardless of, we got to draw the line somewhere. And as much as I'd like to say, hey, go ahead and do it, because number one, nobody showed up at the zoning board meeting to oppose or support the whole thing. I know there's others in town that are similar. Just down the street is similar, although it's different. It's similar. Does look a little bit different on your house, but I agree with Mike and John. We have to, I think, support the intent of the ordinance. as much as I don't like it, that's how I would have to vote.
We're not saying it's because of the type of fence, because I think we've approved
Right.
this kind of fence on the backyard. I won't say any more.
Is that my pacemaker or what?
Did you do that on purpose? Put the laptop down, Terrence.
Be quiet. I'm done, I think.
I agree with you guys. Number one, shouldn't have started before the permit had been denied. I mean, that's water under the bridge. But it's in, that law is, or ordinance is there for a reason. And there's other options, like Mike said, may not like those options, but there are other options that you can do. So I'm not in favor of overriding what the zoning board has said.
So one other little point of contention, which is a technicality, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Typically a variance, when we use that word in this world, is a relaxation of something. For example, lot line setbacks and things like that. Somebody's got, that we run into this pretty frequently where somebody wants to build a detached garage or something and it's supposed to be 10 feet off the property line and it needs to be 9 foot or something just because the layout. That's a relaxation of the 10 foot. What you're asking for is doing away basically with the ordinance. I mean, it's not a relaxation. It's doing expressly what we don't want for the reasons that I've already mentioned. So it's a little bit of a technicality with that, but that's how I view it. So obviously you can see the way the vote's going to go when we take it, but I'll make this offer to you. Either I or probably be better for the codes supervisor to come out with you and look over it and see if any of these other options make any sense for you to do. If you even need some strapping young men to help pick up that carport and move it, we can probably provide a little bit of help there. If you want to bust up that asphalt because you need more area, grassy area or whatever, maybe we can help you haul that off or something like that just to try to help in the situation. But I certainly understand you wanting a dog fence, but I just don't think we can allow what you're wanting to do, so I'm sorry for that. With that, I will make a motion to affirm the zoning board's denial of a variance at 305 East Boulevard, PIN 0718304007, to keep and complete a fence partially installed, which was placed in the front yard before obtaining a permit.
I would second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Okay. If you, Danny, Kiera, if you do want to meet on that, just call me directly here at City Hall, and I'll make arrangements to do that at your convenience, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Commissioner Barwick, we'll move on to item number 6A.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of Chief Fitz to hire Jacqueline Barrett to the position of records clerk at the agreed upon rate per the collective bargaining agreement. Barrett's start date will be January 23rd, 2024.
I would second that.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton? Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Items 7A, B, and C are all related.
She's here. This is Jacqueline.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself? I've said it before, we either need a joke or a song to introduce yourself.
My name is Jacqueline Barrett. I actually just moved to Marion last week, so
Oh.
I'm living in Marion now. I was in Johnson City for a while,
Okay.
but yeah, I spent 6 years with the NFL, and now I'm back here.
With the NFL?
Yeah, I was the insurance agent for the NFL. I was their life insurance agent.
Oh.
So now I'm here, and I'm very excited to start.
Well, when you said make a career change, you meant it.
Yeah. I just wanted to get out of insurance. That was my main thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're originally from Johnson City?
I'm originally from Carterville.
Okay.
So originally from there, and then I moved to Nashville like about 6 years ago, like 6.5 years ago. So,
Okay.
But I've been back for a year now.
And you're starting tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Well, forgive me, please, for not knowing you were in the room. I apologize. So, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay. Where were we? I got sidetracked. We have a first and second? Did we vote?
We already voted.
Here we vote. All right. I really got sidetracked. Okay, 7A, B, and C are all related. They have to do with the roundabout that's going on at Wildcat, trying to improve the safety of that intersection. Part of that, are you here, Brian, to talk about this force main or just answer questions if we have it? Is that something you want to share, or you want me to attempt to explain it? Yeah. Okay, come on up. So we'll have the infamous Glenn Clare to explain item A. You know, infamous is better than famous, right? It's like super famous.
I'm going to let the jury decide on that.
Okay.
The project involves making a roundabout at Wildcat Drive and Route 37. A, it pertains to two sewage force mains. One of them was put in the 70s from the lift station at the oxidation pond south of the high school. And that's an 8-inch force main that went directly to the sewer plant. And then in the 90s, early 2000s, there was a 16-inch force main that went from the halfway road lift station all the way around, went under 37 and up to the sewer plant. It so happens that the 8-inch is probably be left in place. The 16-inch was going to be under the roundabout with a 90 degree, which if you want to pull the pipe out, you couldn't. IDOT says you will have to relocate that so you've got a straight line of your 16-inch force main. And when you deal with the 16-inch PVC pipe, it's expensive. And I think Brian has a cost estimate on that. I think.
Yeah, I think it's in the part of the engineering agreement in the package.
So that's the purpose of having to relocate the force main. And other than having the 90 degree underneath there, all that's going to be in fill. So we'd be okay to leave it in place, but if we ever had a leakage or anything, there's no way we can get it out.
So we had a grant agreement with the county on a different sewer project that is at best delayed at this point. And so we had discussions, Brent had discussions, and I had follow-up discussion with the county about converting that grant to be able to use it for this project. We do not have a choice essentially but to do this project. It's our responsibility. IDOT won't pay for it.
We're on their right of way and we are there with their blessing.
Yeah. So we don't have formal approval with the county, but they are amenable to doing that. So that would be our use and pay for this item. You guys, any questions of Glenn on this? Here's the, oh, you've got it. You guys all have it. See where this thing's running.
I have a question. What's a 16 by 16 connection? Just where the pipes come together?
You got 16 going, making a 90, going across, makes another 90 and goes up. So you're going to abandon those 90s, so you got to tie back into the existing 16 and then reroute it so it's a straight line under the 37 and the roundabout. And then you got to tie back into the existing 16 on the east side.
Okay.
So you got two 16-inch connections to make.
All right.
Any other questions? Somebody like to read the motion?
Do you want them separate or all together?
Separate.
All right, I would make a motion to approve an engineering agreement with Horner Schifrin for the 16-inch force main relocation project.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item B and C are related to this project and related to one another. Basically, if you look on this diagram we have on the northwest part of the what will be the roundabout there off of Wildcat Drive. They need, IDOT being they, needed a parcel of property that just so happens to belong to Marion Park District. Marion Park District cannot directly, by their own state statutes that regulate them, they cannot sell property. They can trade property. So IDOT reached out to us. Glenn did some research. We found a piece of property that was adjacent to Jones Park, I think, and that the Park District wanted, and about the same size as this parcel that IDOT needs. So we negotiated and bought it from the church that owned it. That transaction's already taken place. And so now what we need to do is transfer that parcel of property to the Park District so that they will exchange that for this parcel of property that we are then, in item C, selling for a similar amount plus our cost back to IDOT. So this is the inefficiency of government agencies all at work together. Doug, I know you're very familiar with these kinds of things, but it was quite a chore to navigate through all that.
IDOT is reimbursing the city for the purchase of the
Right.
church property and also the fire department.
Right. So there's not really a cost to the city of this, and the Park District gets a parcel of property that expands their parks. So that's what these two items are about. And I'll make a motion 7B to approve ordinance 3936, authorizing the transfer and exchange of real estate with the Marion Park District.
Second that.
I assume the Park District will also have to act on this prior to it being in effect.
They're meeting tomorrow night on this.
Okay. They're meeting tomorrow night. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 7C, it's also my motion to approve Resolution 2024-07, authorizing the sale of surplus property that we just declared to IDOT for $4,400.
Second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 8, Commissioner reports. Doug, we'll start with you tonight if you've got a report.
Our new treasurer, Lance, has started. Obviously, that learning curve has started. Looks like, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far, which is very little, I think it's going to be, he'll work out real well.
Is that it?
Yep.
Mr. Barwick?
Only thing I have, just want to give kudos to the Marion Fire Department. This morning, we woke up and had a disturbance on the square. Wasn't sure what it was, and little Nashville building, and the fire department did an outstanding job. It's still standing.
Well, to that point, if I can add just a little bit, not only did the fire department respond and make some tactical decisions early on that because it was unknown where the smoke was coming from, as is typical, but they made the right decision, I'm told. But the whole thing was, that was possible because a good Samaritan just happened to pass by, took the time to stop, see what was going on, and called the fire department. I ended up talking to that gentleman today because he's also likely to have saved that building just out of a good deed. And he's ecstatic that it turned out that way. The building owner obviously is ecstatic that it turned out that way. But the point is I encourage anyone, if you see something, report it. Because there were other cars I watched just drive on by. And this person didn't, and thank God that they took the time to call the fire department. A couple of minutes would have made a difference, a big difference in this circumstance. So, Commissioner Stecklin?
Okay, for the Water Department, we had, since the last report, we had 10 meter pits repaired or replaced, 8 water leaks repaired, 2 services upgraded, 3 fire hydrants repaired. For the year 2023, believe it or not, we received 4,250 Julie location calls, which is unbelievable. It's wonderful. I do want to read something here. We received a real nice little note in the mail And, we sometimes don't hear about real good things all the time, but this was a good thing. This was to employees of the Marion Water Department, Mr. Cliff Hogue, Mayor Absher, and the City Council. Special thank you to all the individuals who on January 8th put in several hours repairing the lack of water pressure to our homes. We appreciate their quick response and service for a job well done. It's good to know the city cares for its people. Thank you so much. So that's a real nice thing from some of our constituents there. So kudos to the Water Department for that. It is trivia night, so I've got a couple of them here. So first one I'm going to go with is has nothing to do with water, but it's kind of cool anyway. In what country was sliced bread first invented? I'll give you 4 choices. Is it France, Germany, Italy, or United States? Not asking for the year.
United States.
It was the United States. 1928, Otto Frederick Rohwedder of Davenport, Iowa, invented the first single-loaf bread slicing machine. And in 1930, Wonder Bread started marketing sliced bread nationwide. It's only been around 96 years. Other thing goes, and these two kind of go together, what is the coldest temperature ever recorded in Marion, Illinois? I'll give you 4 choices again. -16, -19, -26, -31.
Minus 26.
-26?
Mhm.
You guys are good.
Is that right?
It is right. How did you know that?
1978.
No.
77.
You're off by just a couple of years. It was 1884.
Missed it by that much.
January 5th, 1884, reported by J.D. Hartwell, is the coldest temperature recorded in Marion, Illinois. And with that, some tips on how to avoid your frozen water pipes. Open your kitchen and bathroom cabinet doors to allow the warm air to circulate around the plumbing, especially if your sinks are on an exterior wall. Don't forget, if you have small children, remove any harmful cleaners and chemicals from underneath there when you open up your cabinets. The other thing is to let your cold water drip from a faucet served by exposed pipes. Running it through the pipe, even at a very small trickle, helps prevent the pipes from freezing. So that's all I have.
Commissioner Webb?
I don't have a long list tonight because both the streets and the cemetery has been working on the snow and ice removal during this cold snap. So keep in mind they're doing the streets, the parking lots, and sidewalks all around town. So they've done a great job, and appreciate them getting out in the cold weather and taking care of it. That's all I have.
Okay, anything else to come before the council under item 9, miscellaneous? Anybody have a need for a closed or executive session this evening? Okay, hearing no need, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Jay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Thank you all.
What's that?
Is that like your mission?
I don't know, I guess.
Just automatically.
They all look at me.
That's where my eyes go.
Yeah.